Hello and welcome to Comics with Jose. My name is Jose. I love comics and I want to share them with you. Follow me on Twitter at Art of J Velez or on Instagram at jvelez622 where I share some doodles that I work on and a little comic book story that I'm currently working on as well, free of charge. I do this for fun and I just enjoy talking and sharing comic books. Like, follow, and subscribe if you like the channel. We're going to go over comic book stories that I have. I own a lot of comic books over the years. We're going to use digital, however, because it's easier to share on digital on your computer screen or phone. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Comics with Jose, and my name is Jose. And today we are going to go over Wonder Woman Volume 2, 101. This is from 1995. It is written and drawn by the one and only John Byrne. Those of you who have been following comics for a long time know that John Byrne is one of the greatest writer-artists ever. And he is responsible for some of the greatest stories ever told. The guy is an incredible drawer. He is very good, very solid, and he, like I said, has written some of the best stories ever. And this is his first issue of what ends up being about a 3-year run on Wonder Woman. So he starts off with this amazing cover here, in which it just a power, it's just a spectacular image, just a pose of an action pose. So he had his first run at DC was with Superman, and now he's returned to DC to do Wonder Woman. So it's not a bad first issue. So starts off in a city called Gateway. DC Comics is notorious for creating cities instead of using real cities the way Marvel kind of does. John Byrne writes and draws this. He also, I believe he letters it himself, but he uses a font, so he doesn't actually letter he doesn't letter each one manually. He uses a program and types it in, but he creates the letter and then he uses that same. So he I'm always impressed how he doesn't skimp on drawing buildings. The dude definitely draws. He's an ink slinger too, so I love his work. So Wonder Woman is kind of just patrolling when she sees a commotion, and she sees the police trying to stop this kind of like a gang here wearing these futuristic stuff. So Wonder Woman shows up, and they say quit gawking, and start shooting. She deflects all the stuff. Wonder Woman is very strong. She is on par with Superman. She is one of the most powerful characters in the DC Comics. So she is not to be trifled with. And so she dismisses the people rather quickly. And she's asking who the heck these people are, and the police let her know that they don't know. They've been showing up, and they have all this great technology. The guy says he doesn't want to talk. He wants to talk to a lawyer. She just flies with him, lets him know all in due time. I love John Byrne's. So he kind of he's gone through several style changes. I mean, John Byrne, you can always tell on the faces, but he experiments, and this is like he had an early style, then the famous style that he did during his run on Uncanny X-Men and Fantastic Four. Then throughout Superman, he had sort of another style. Then he went with one in which he was doing a lot of uh, ink tones and some washes, and now he's kind of gone to this style here during this time. I love the way he does the hair for Wonder Woman. Just kind of ink and then a little space and then ink, ink, ink. Very cool. So he demands that the guy tell him what to say, and he doesn't want to talk. He says he's got rights, and then she puts the lasso on him, and the lasso compels him to tell the truth. So now we're 22 hours later, and this guy here he's looking for someone, and everyone says, "Oh, really?" So they warn him he shouldn't be so nosy. Then they end up in a scuffle, and they're gonna kill him. And I think not. And you can tell by the boot, you know who this is. And so there's Wonder Woman. Um, and they all run from her. He's a police officer here, kind of looking on the same angle that she's looking for. And this guy comes out with the guns, and he ends up shooting him. This is the 90s, so the comic books haven't don't are now started, to get a little bit more relaxed in some of the things. So in the old days, in the Marvel in the 60s, in DC 60s and 70s, probably not so much, but the 80s they started loosening some of that stuff. So the guy shoots him, and she presses a button, out comes a door, and so they're gonna go and investigate. And the guy can't budge the door open, and she just pulls it through. She's very cool. She is one of my top 10 favorite characters. Wonder Woman is just a stud. She is a very cool character. I have quite a few of our collections. I have John Byrne's entire run, Walter Simonson's entire run. Walter Simonson, one of my favorite drawers and artists of all time, is just the writer on the run. He follows this run, and Jerry Ordway was his artist. But I have that as well. I have Greg Rucka's run, Mike Deodato's run. So there's a lot of issues of Wonder Woman that I have. And the new 52 run is also pretty cool. So I would, with Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang. So they go in. She takes her hair out from that braid that she had it in, and they're now going down some stairs. It's very cool how he draws them. And they're kind of just trying to decipher how to get there. Lets them know that the gun's not really going to help them, and they're under attack again. She's dispatching, but that creature is much too strong. He's overwhelmed, and he knocks her out, and just for good measure gives her a good punch. Gotta take when you can take Wonder Woman out. So they tell him to be quiet, and he's like, "What are you gonna do to me?" And then he hits him. So they throw him here, and the big reveal is right here. And it's pretty exciting. John Byrne just loves Jack Kirby's Fourth World, and of course, you knew that with John Byrne, he was gonna get Darkseid in here. So, very cool way to end the issue. So, Wonder Woman 101 from 1995, written and drawn by John Byrne. Great stuff. Like, follow, subscribe.